Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie review. Today, we'll be taking a look at another of the Jaws sequels, and this was one that I had been dreading to watch for the past couple of days, and after watching it last night, this is definitely my least favorite of the series so far, but it may get worse because there's still one more left. That movie is Jaws 3 or Jaws 3D. I'm probably just gonna call it Jaws 3D because that's what the title says, and this came around the time where like 3D was like this huge thing. I think this came out a year after Friday the 13th Part 3 3D. So yeah, that's most likely the reason. But oh man, this movie. So Jaws 3D, what is it about? Jaws 3D opens up with a couple people. They're out practicing at SeaWorld. Yes, this movie takes place at SeaWorld. And they're getting ready to do like this huge stunt for like this huge crowd of people like in the following days before they open or have like this huge ceremony or whatever. And while they're coming back into the place where, you know, SeaWorld is, they're not able to close it in time, and a shark follows them in. And, shark follows them in, but he busts the gate in the process. The gate gets broken, so divers have to go down there and fix it. They're confused as to why it got broken. Then we get reintroduced to Mike Brody, and his co-worker Catherine, who he has a relationship with. They're like boyfriend, girlfriend. And Mike Brody's working at SeaWorld. His mom or dad are not in this film. Roy Scheider declined to do 3 and 4 simply because he didn't like the idea of Jaws having a sequel. He thought the first one was good and we didn't need any sequels. He only did the second one because he was contracted to do it. But after the contract ended, he left Jaws. And his mom's not there for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, his mom and dad are not in this film. Mike Brody is played by an early role for Dennis Quaid, who you might know from the movies I Can Only Imagine or a couple commercials. He pretty nice guy, pretty fun actor. I've seen a lot of his movies. Does pretty good here. He did an alright role in this as Mike Brody, but I definitely think they could have made a better choice. But Dennis Quaid, still a great actor. Then Mike works at SeaWorld with his lover Catherine. You know, Catherine actually trains with the animals, the dolphins, and everything. So they have a pretty good time there. While this is going on, Mike's boss, or the owner of SeaWorld, or at least of this location, invites a couple of British guys from like the UK to come by and take a look at the place. They're going to try to help him market it and maybe earn some extra money. They're sort of like side characters. You don't really... I wasn't really interested with them all that much, if I got to be honest. But then we also, during that time when they're coming out, we get to see Sean Brody, who is actually like fully grown up now. Doesn't have a girlfriend until later on in the film. But I forget who he's played by. I don't think it says on the tape here, or on the Blu-ray. I believe... yeah, right here. Simon McCorkindale. I believe that is who he's played by. And they still have a nice brotherly bond. I think he does a okay job at Sean. I mean, I really don't like these two actors that play Michael and Sean. But, you know, it's Jaws 3D. You're going to expect that. But then we also get introduced to Sean's love interest, Kelly, at a bar when they're hanging out. So that's it for, like, the main characters. However, while a diver is down there actually trying to fix the gate that got broken from the shark comes by and eats him. And they soon discover the body and realize that the bite radius is from a shark, and they realize that they have a shark on the loose in SeaWorld. Jaws 3D, what am I saying? Jaws 3D, definitely low budget, you can tell. the storyline and the writing, I gotta say, some of the cheesiest and worst writing I've seen out of a horror film. Not as bad as Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, not as bad as another film like the Ginger Dead Man series, but man, I gotta be honest, I got very bored at some parts of this film. It was such a downgrade from the first two. And I'm pretty sure it's just going to get worse after this, because, you know, we still have Jaws the Revenge, and I've heard a lot of takes on that film. People consider that the worst of the franchise, but we'll see once I get to it. Anyway, Dennis Quaid as Mike Brody does a fine job. Could have preferred somebody better, but I think he does an okay performance with, like, the writing and everything, but that is to be expected. The shark itself, you don't really get to see all that much. Honestly, my least favorite shark so far out of the three. It could get worse, but so far this has been my least favorite shark. The side characters were not all that interesting. I could give two shits whether they lived or died. But the only ones that I really cared about at all was like Mike, Sean, and their love interest. That was really about it. There were some comedic parts in the film. This definitely went towards the horror comedy instead of like the horror suspense thing. But, you know, I'm still going to review this because it's part of the Jaws franchise. But the kills, man, were a downgrade from Jaws 2. There was a lot more blood than the previous films. A lot of kills were done off screen, but there were a couple where I liked where a guy gets, like, swallowed whole by the shark. And another one where a dude gets pulled out of a boat and eaten, like out of a little raft. The 3D effects on how the kills were done and how the shark looked, the worst 3D I have ever seen. Way better. I would rather watch Part 3's 3D than sit through this again and see the 3D. That crap was awful. I never want to see Jaws 3D again, at least for the 3D aspect. That was the worst 3D I've ever seen. Honestly, most of that stuff is memeable, especially where a dude, like, when he gets eaten, his arms floating towards the camera, and it looks so fake. You can obviously tell this was done behind a green screen or terrible effects. The ending to this film, kind of like a reference to the original where, you obviously remember what happened and how they defeated the shark. I won't get into detail on how they killed this one, but, for spoilers, obviously, but you're just gonna have to watch it for yourself. Other than that, this film was very bland. The SeaWorld thing, I mean, it's okay. Like, I like seeing other animals. Like, we get to see dolphins. There's even, like, an orca or a killer whale. I'm not sure if those are real animals or not. If they were real animals, I am very surprised because they look so cute. But yeah, kills were all right. There were some good ones that I think topped Jaws 2, but I'd honestly rather watch Jaws 2's kills than these because the 3D just ruins it, guys. If I gotta be honest, 3D is terrible. The 3D was so terrible in the 80s. Now it's gotten a little better, but not by much. I just don't really like 3D movies in general. That doesn't really give me the shock as like 2Ds would. I just prefer the suspense. I don't enjoy the 3D. Other than that, Jaws 3D was just very bland. Writing could have been a lot better. Did not like how the director went for this film. Characters were bland except for like 3. And, yeah, writing was terrible. 3D was awful. Never want to see this film again. Probably one of the worst sequels to a franchise I've ever seen, which I may do a ranking on that at some point. Like, worst sequels in a horror movie franchise, I might do that. But I don't know. Whatever. I'm done with this movie. Okay, so Jaws 3D. What a doozy of a film. I like the cover, but the movie, not so much. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it about like a 6.5. 6.5. Could have been a lot better. 3D ruins it. Most of the characters suck. Boring. And the shark sucks too. And then there's a couple twists in there that are just there to throw in the plot and make the movie longer. So, Jaws 3D, that has been my review on the film. What is everyone's thoughts on it? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Would really love to see y'all's opinions on it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next movie review. God bless, and have a good day. Bye, everyone.